Good morning, students. So I think only one student need to join, so we will start. So did you practice facial? Did you practice facial massage? Do you have any doubts? Students, did you practice facial massage? So do you have any doubts? Okay, so if no doubts, then we will continue. So today we will see about the back massage and limb massage. Mostly we will try to complete STM by today. Okay, so like back massage, like facial massage, the back massage position also it is little different. So I hope like we know about the performa. I'm not going to repeat the performa again. So performa in sense like when you are entering into the station, you need to introduce yourself and all those things. So I think I don't need to repeat it again, isn't it? So you would have like it is already given in the slide. Not only that, like we have already seen during the facial massage. So this is the performer. So introduce yourself, then explain the procedure to the stimulator. So when you are explaining, you need to explain what is the patient problem, what is the patient problem, and uh, what you are going to do and how it is going to help them. So you need to explain in this three aspect. Then check for the contraindication, get their consent. After that, you have to position the stimulator. So in case if you are positioning for the back, you need to position like this. So this is the method to position. You need to position the patient in prone lying. So you can give a pillow either under the chest in this area. Like you will know, right? Like when in the previous semester you have learned about the fundamental positions. So in fundamental positions, like they would have taught you how to position the patient in prone lying. So you are supposed to position the patient in that particular position. Okay. So you can see, so either you can turn the head to one side or in the cot, if we are having a gap for the face, then you can open the gap and make the patient to be completely prone. Okay, so like this. So complete prone you can make the person to be, and you can open up the space for breathing. Okay, so or this position or this position or this position. So this is for your back massage. So this position is used for people who are pregnant, because pregnant women you cannot make the person to lie on prone lying. So for pregnant women we position them in sitting. So in sitting they can sit uh, opposite side and they can hold the chair so that you can give massage to the back. So this is especially for pregnant women, or sometimes like if you are not able to position the patient in prone lying, then you can make them to sit. But most of the time sitting will be little difficult, because when you are giving massage, definitely the whole body will go into relaxation. So when the whole body goes into relaxation, sometimes the patient may sleep, or sometimes the patient may not be able to maintain his sitting position. So that's why we don't prefer the sitting position. Um, except for pregnancy where we cannot go for prone lying. Okay, and if you see the legs should be out of the couch. So it should not be like this. The legs should be totally out of the couch, so that the person will be able so that the person will be able to hold the person will be able to keep the whole lower limb relaxed. Is that clear? So the leg should be totally at the edge of the couch. And this is a position for lower limb massage. Like same, like either you can be in supine lying or prone lying. If the limb is very big and you're not able to handle at one point, then you can divide them into segment. That means position the patient in prone lying, give the whole massage on the back of the leg, then position them in supine lying, then give massage on the front. So depending on the limb size and the weight, you can decide whether you want to divide them into segments like posterior and anterior, or you want to divide just the foot part, the leg part, then the thigh part, like that. So depending on the weight and the surface area of the patient. Then for the upper limb, mostly you can position them in supine lying. Is that clear? So this is the position of the patient. So after positioning the patient, you need to you need to make the person get ready. In case if you are giving back massage, then you have to apply a towel over the lower part so that the lubricant is not making dirty the lower segment. Okay, so in case if they are wearing a pant or something, the lubricant whichever is applying, it will affect the pant. So to avoid that, you put a towel and you just insert a little bit of towel inside the pant. So can you see here? They have just folded and inserted little bit towel so that the oil or whichever is you are using doesn't affect the pants, because after massage they have to wear the same dress and go back. So you should be careful about that. So this is getting ready for the patient, making the patient ready. Then in case if they are women and if the hair is affecting, then you have to make a bun of the hair so that it doesn't fall on the back and doesn't affect your area. Okay, so this is for the ladies to prepare. Then you have to remove your watches, rings, and you have to remove your nail polishes. You should not have any nails when you are doing the massage. So this is very, very important. Okay, then okay, so this is getting ready of the therapist. Then most of the time the therapist should be in walk standing position. Why the therapist has to be in walk standing position means, like, it then only they will be able to reach to all the area, and if they want to move around, it will be very easy for them to move around. So that's why you need to be in a walk standing position. Okay, then next, so next is like we will start the massage. So here in massage, so back massage, you will start with stroking, and you need to give from distal to proximal. Okay, so you can just see, just a minute. I want to make it little bigger. Okay, so okay, so can you see my video bigger in your screen?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Oh, okay. So I am not able to see like that. Uh, so you just imagine this is on, like just a minute. I'll just arrange the bed. Okay. So imagine this is back. As the spot is little low, I need to bend, but normally the cot which we are using for the other purpose, which we are using for the therapeutic purpose, we can adjust the height so that you can raise it little bit. Okay, so this is the head, okay, and this is the lower part. So all the techniques, most of the techniques, you will be starting from distal to proximal. So first you can apply the lubricant. So apply the lubricant and you can do like this so that the lubricant is all over the hands. After that you can start with touch. So touch you can normally come from proximal to distal. So you can touch like this, and so in all the parts you have to touch. So this is just to spread the lubricant as well as just to make the person accustomed to the to your hand position. Okay, so after touching, in case like if you are finishing like this, you cannot remove the hand and go like this. So you plan from the beginning in such a way that you are not going to remove the hand completely. So you can start from here and you can go up, then you can start the stroking. So stroking normally is using the fingers like this. So then you have to go back without any pressure, then the next area. Okay, then again next area, then again next area. So one place you need to give at least 3 times so that like you are properly able to give them. So you start here, then slowly like this. Okay, so 3 times you do, then to the next area do 3 times, then next area do 3 times, like that. So you have to cover up the complete back. So after covering the complete back, then you start with the effleurage. So effleurage should be from distal to proximal. So you can go, then you have to drain. Okay, so can you see drain like this? So here you have two lymphatic nodes. One is at the cervical, other one is at the axilla. So first, like in the middle one, you can drain it in the cervical. Okay, so do 3 times. Then go to the next area. So over the scapular muscle bones, you can just reduce the pressure a little bit. Okay, so over the scapular bones, when you're going, you can just reduce the pressure a little bit. So one part you will be going above the scapular bone. The next you will go below the scapular bone and reach the axilla. So this is like, again, you have to do Depends on the patient's body surface, how big they are. You need to do that many times. So if they are of normal size, you will be able to complete with three times. Like 3 times, if you do, it will cover up the area. In case if they are so big, then you have to do as many times so that you are covering the whole back. Okay, so this is effleurage. Then you can go for next one, that is circular kneading. So you can decide, like either you need to go, you need to want to go with the palm, or you need to want to go with the forearm, or you need to do a fist one. So whichever you want, you can decide. The next is like circular kneading. So cover up the complete area slowly from down. Okay. Then after covering up, again you have to come down. Then you give effleurage. So in between every technique, you need to do effleurage. Okay. So like this. Okay. Then after effleurage, then you can decide what you want to give. You can go for hacking. So when you are giving hacking or beating, you need to make sure that you are not giving. So you can see from the middle, you can just depart your hand on either side. Okay, like this. Then like after hacking, then again effleurage. So hacking and beating or whatever the harder technique you are giving, you need to make sure that you're not giving over pressure over the spleen and the kidney. Spleen and the kidney will be at the lower part, so you should not give much pressure over that area. So when you're giving hacking, you can reduce the pressure a little bit at the lower part, then remaining you can give. Okay, so you can give hacking, you can give clapping. So especially clapping is given over the upper thorax, so you can give clapping here. If you want, you can give beating. Then so the technique is chosen by the therapist, like depending on the condition. Okay, so in case if they are just a back, like lower back pain, and you are giving massage to reduce pain, then you can use all these techniques. Okay, in case if they have any adhesion formation and you want to break the adhesion, then you have to choose like ringing, skin rolling, like that kind of technique. Okay, so then next is like skin rolling. So when you are giving skin rolling, you need to come to the side. Okay, so come to the side, then you have to see, you can lift up the skin, then roll back. Lift up the skin, then roll back. Lift up the skin, then roll back. Okay, lift up the skin, then roll back. Lift up the skin and roll back. Then you can go down like that. Lift up the skin and roll back. Lift up the skin and roll back. So like that, you have to cover the whole one side. After covering one side, maybe you can go for circular kneading or any other technique. Then come around. Don't remove the hand. Okay, then you can give. So you can choose any technique in between, just to have a contact and come around, and you can do it. So you have to lift up the tissue, then you have to roll back. Lift up the tissue, roll back. Okay. So after skin rolling, again effleurage. Okay. So you can do wringing in case if they have loose tissues in the sides. So in case if in the sides, because in the like in the back, they will not have that much of loose tissues. Okay, in the sides they might have the loose tissues, so you can just do like this. Okay, so you can see like in the sides, if they have loose tissue, then you can do picking up. You can also do wringing. Is that clear? So the technique should be chosen according to the condition of the patient given. So if the condition in the condition, if they have given the patient is not able to sleep, and they have insomnia, not able to sleep, then you can choose all the techniques. In the condition, if they have given the person has spasm, then you have to choose the technique that will be helping you to break the spasm, then relax the person. Is that clear? Okay, so this is for your back. Then for the upper limb, so upper limb again, upper limb and lower limb both are same. So depending on the like weight of the person, then you can decide whether you want to go for. So depending on the size of the person, then you can decide whether you want to divide the segments or you can just hold it. So for example, if the limb is if the person is very thin, then you can hold it in the hand like this. So if the patient has lymphedema, that is swelling, then you can raise the hand like this and you can hold it and you can do the techniques to the whole hand. But if the patient is very bulky and if it is very difficult for you to hold like this in one hand and do it with the other hand, then you can keep the pillow in a raised manner, then keep the hand over that, complete the anterior part, then make the person to be in prone or make the person to be inside, then give to the next area. Okay, so depending on the surface area and weight of the patient, you have to decide how you are going to do it. Then you can also divide, like for example, the upper limb, you can divide like wrist, forearm, and the arm. So you can also divide like this lower three segment like this. Like first you will complete the wrist, then you will go for the forearm, then you can go for the arm. So like that also you can divide. So depending on like the therapist as well as the patient, you have to divide and you can start the treatment. Okay, so now we will just imagine this is the upper limb. So you can just, if the person is thin, then you can just lift it, hold it in one hand. Then first you have to start with the fingers. Again here it depends on, in case if the person has flaccidity and to increase the muscle tone, if you are doing massage, then you have to start with distal to proximal. If you have lymphedema, that is swelling, you want to do massage to reduce the swelling, then you have to start from distal to proximal. Okay. In case if the person has spasm or muscle tightness, okay, spastic, then you need to start from proximal to distal. So that will help you to reduce the muscle tone. Is that clear? So you can like you have to choose the sequence of the technique depending on the condition. So if it is lymphedema, if it is like flaccid, if the muscle tone is very less, you want to improve the muscle power, you want to felicitate the muscle power, facilitate the muscle power, then for all these things you have to start from distal to proximal. In case if they have spasm and muscle tightness, then for that you have to start from proximal to distal. Is that clear? So in proximal to distal also you can divide. First you will complete in the arm, then you will complete the forearm, then you can complete the wrist. But effleurage have to be done from distal to proximal only, because that we have to drain it over the axillary lymph node. Okay, no other way. But other techniques will be given from proximal to distal. Okay, so first let me start. So start from the wrist. So for example here in the wrist, like the stroking is given a little bit different. Like you can see here, the stroking will be given a little bit different. It is called as spiral kneading. Okay, so because like you cannot give stroking or effleurage or finger effleurage to the fingers in a very smaller manner, and you will not be able to drain it. So for that, it is a modification. It is called as spiral kneading. So you just spirally do all fingers. Can you see? So spirally you are supposed to do all the fingers. So this will help you to drain the fluids from the fingers. Is that clear? So after doing the spiral kneading, then you can start with stroking. So you can start with stroking and you can drain stroking, or you can also do effleurage. You can also do thumb effleurage and you can drain till the wrist. Okay, so first you can drain till the wrist. So cover the whole area. So for you can start either at the proximal or at the posterior or at the anterior, and you can drain it till the wrist. Then other techniques that you can do it in the wrist area is you can do bringing. Okay, in this area you can do bringing, you can do kneading, you can do it with the thumb. Okay, so you can do kneading, you can do tapping. Okay, you can do tapping. Then okay, so in case if they have any addition and if you want to do this picking up, you can do picking up. So you can do picking up over the thenar and the hypothenar eminence. So on both sides you can do picking up, you can do bringing, you can do if the tissues are little loose, then you can also do skin rolling. Okay, so after completing the wrist part, then you will have to start from the wrist to the elbow. So you can start from stroking. Okay, sorry, stroking will be from proximal to distal. Okay, so you can start from stroking. Then effleurage. So effleurage from will be from distal to proximal. You have to drain at the elbow. Is that clear? Then you can go for circular kneading. So everything you will be lifting the hand like this and you will be doing it on this. Okay, so when you are lifting it, then it will be easy for the fluids to drain towards the heart. That's why you are lifting it little bit. Okay, then so you can do circular kneading, you can do picking up. So when you're doing picking up, bringing, all those things, you have to see the muscle bulk. So maybe at the lateral sides, you will be able to do it. So you can also do skin rolling. So if the skins will be little loose in the forearm, so you can also do skin rolling. So skin rolling will be like this. Smaller area, you just lift and you push, lift and push, lift and push. Okay, so like this, lift and push down. Okay, so lift and push down. So you can do skin rolling, you can do hacking. So hacking, all these you have to give over the muscles, you should not give over the bones. So you can do hacking. Okay, so then you can go for beating, you can go for compression, you can go for so except vibration and shaking, remaining everything you will be able to give here. Okay, only vibration and shaking, sometimes like cupping, you will not be able to give over the limbs. So remaining all the techniques you will be able to give over the limbs. So complete the thing till the sorry elbow. Then you have to do from elbow to the shoulder. That is completely to the shoulder. Okay, so this is like in case if the patient is bulky. If the patient is very thin, if you're able to do with a single attempt, you can also do it. So for example, if they are very thin, then start from the fingers. So you can do spiral kneading. Okay, then you can complete the wrist. After completing, then you can start from the arm, stroking. So like this you can also complete all the area. Then you can do effleurage, drain. Do in the lateral, do it at the posterior, then do in the medial with this hand. Okay, then you can you can start with circular kneading. So one hand you will be holding, then you will do circular kneading, then at this lateral, then at the posterior, then hold the other with the other hand, then do with the next hand. Okay, so massage you need to do it with both the hands, so that like you will be able to do even in the left hand also. So you have to practice that way. Then next, like you can go for effleurage again. Then you can go for hacking the complete arm. Okay, come back. Then at the lateral side, then at the posterior side, then at the medial side. Then go for picking up. So when you're doing picking up, go muscle wise. Okay, so do picking up, then do bringing muscle wise from the origin to the from the insertion to the origin, like that. So go muscle wise. Then you can go for compression. Okay, you can also go for beating. Okay, you can go for beating. Since it is a very small, it is difficult for me, but like when you're doing in the arm, then it will be little easy. Okay, so so these are the techniques. So same thing you are going to do for the lower limb. So lower limb, you have to make sure that you are undressing till you are kneading. So till your inguinal lymph node, you need to make the person, you need to remove the dress. So you cover up them properly, the other leg and the private part. Okay, so cover up properly so that they don't feel any uneasiness. Then you start from the toes. So you can do spiral kneading at the toes, then you can complete the foot. Then from the ankle, you can, if the limb is very thin, then you can hold it with one hand and you can complete it in one stage. If they are bulky, so most of the time the lower limb will be bulky. So in that case, you can divide from the ankle to the knee, then to the knee to the thigh. Like that, you can divide and you can do it. But remaining everything, the procedure will be same. Same thing if the person has spasm or spastic, if the tone is higher, then you need to do from proximal to distal, except effleurage. Remaining all the condition you have to do from distal to proximal. Is that clear? So this is for your lower limb. So now what we are going to do is, like we will, I will be giving you case scenario. Then I can divide you into batches. So how you want? You wanted to divide into batches and do it, or how you want? So only thing I want you to discuss is, like, you need to discuss what are the techniques you will be giving to that particular case scenario. So I have 8 case scenarios. So I think we will divide into 8 groups. That will be better, right? So I will divide you into 8 groups with 8 case scenarios. So group 1 have to discuss first. Group 2, that is room 2, will be discussing the second. So like that you have to choose the case scenario. So discuss, and like once I open, so each batch have to have a rep and they have to tell what are the techniques you will be doing. So I want you to tell the techniques in the sequence order. So first what you will do, second what you will do, like that. Is that clear? So I don't need I don't ask you to do it. It is enough if you orally inform me what are the techniques you will do and choose in the sequence form. Is that clear? Okay. So do you want break, or we will go into the break room? Can we go into the break room?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So the time is 8:55. 9:15 I will close the break room. Okay. So I think I have already put the case scenario in the LMS. So have you like you can just take it, or if you want, then I can also send you through WhatsApp. Okay. So do you want in WhatsApp, or you can already you can take from LMS?
Uh,
I'm just sending it in through WhatsApp. You can join the break rooms. So can we start?
Morning, Miss.
So first group,
Yes.
Okay. Just a
So,
minute, let me share the case scenario.
okay.
Can everybody view this?
Yes, please.
So first question.
So good morning, Miss. First, the patient will be in supine lying, and the therapist will be standing behind the patient. And since the patient is having facial palsy, we will be performing the facial massage on the affected side, which is the left side of the patient. And first, we'll be giving touch and to spread the lubricant. Then we'll perform stroking from the forehead to the chin and go back. And we'll also cover the cheek part. And next we'll be performing effleurage. And as the face is small, so we'll be perform the thumb effleurage. And so because due to the facial palsy, the patient eyes will be unable to close properly and the mouth will be deviated to the sound part. So when performing effleurage, we moved from the chin to the forehead will give more pressure on the lower quadrant of the face to pull the mouth upwards and will give less pressure when it reach the upper quadrant of the face while moving downwards. So we'll give more pressure on the upper quadrant which is the eyes and lower pressure on the mouth side. Then next we'll be performing tapping and then effleurage again, and then circular kneading, and then effleurage, and next will be hacking. Hacking will be performed on the muscular part, which is the cheek part, and then effleurage again, and next will be ringing. After ringing, also effleurage, and then compression over the cheek and eyes, and then effleurage and friction over the bony areas. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. So very good. You can also add hacking over the muscular part. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So anybody wants to add anything?
No, yes.
Okay. So it's good. Like I think you had a good discussion, but you had only 3 students, right? The fourth one joined very late. Okay. So next group.
Hi, good morning, Miss.
Yes. Good morning.
So to do back massage, we need to position the patient in front lying. So first, we need to apply lubricant first. It can be lotion, powder, or any other essential oils. Then we apply effleurage to hold back for 3 times. After that, we can apply circular kneading on the back, and then do effleurage, distal to proximal, and then skin rolling. After that, we also do effleurage from distal to proximal. Then for any other loose tissue, we can do picking out on the lateral side. And then effleurage again from distal to proximal. Then we can apply friction over the spinous process. It can be transverse or circular frictions. And then effleurage again, distal to proximal. And then we can do hacking, but we need to avoid kidney or spleen area. And then after that, as usual, we need to do effleurage from distal to proximal. And then we can also do compression, beating, pounding, vibration, shaking, cupping, And then we also need to do effleurage every intermittently from distal to proximal. That's all, Miss. Thank you.
Okay. So here the clue was like the person is not able to sleep because of spasm. So you need to reduce the spasm. So you have to choose a technique that will be helping you to break all the spasm. Okay. Okay. So like maybe cupping is not needed, but otherwise like everything is okay. Okay, good. Any other thing anybody wants to add? Okay. So if nothing, then we will go to a third group.
Morning, Miss. Miss, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Good morning. You start.
Okay. For my these questions, my patient has the skin contracture around the upper arm. Okay. So same. So first I will do the touch at the upper arm first, then follow with the stroking. Then after stroking, I will do effleurage from the distal to the proximal. All this we will do from distal to proximal. Then after effleurage, we do the circular kneading. Then effleurage again. Then I will do picking up. Okay. Then effleurage again. Then we'll do again the maybe circular kneading. Okay. From the arm to the wrist. Okay. Arm. Yeah. Then after that, effleurage, and then skin rolling. Then follow with effleurage. Then hacking, then effleurage, then winging, then effleurage. Yeah, that's all, Miss.
Okay. So here you need to break the adhesion. So you can also add up friction because friction around the scar tissue or at the borders of the scar tissue will help you to break the thickness or contracture. Okay. So it is good. You need to treat only the area. You don't need to treat the whole upper limb. Okay. Okay, good. So
Okay,
next
Miss.
group,
Okay.
group 4.
Good morning, Miss.
Annie?
Okay, based on the question, the patient is having the muscle spasm over trapezius muscle. So I will ask the patient to lie in prone lying, and I will put a pillow under his chest region, and I will cover up her lower thigh with a towel. Then I will stand at the side of the patient. So since he is having pain, so we will apply lesser pressure to decrease his pain. Then for muscle spasm, we will apply the technique from proximal to distal except the effleurage. So we will start from touch by applying the lubricant around his neck region and the scapular region. And we will follow by the stroking, which is done from proximal to distal. Then we will do effleurage from distal to proximal, and then circular kneading, and then effleurage, skin rolling, effleurage, hacking, effleurage, and we can also do ringing, cupping, beating, compression, and friction over the bony area. We will do every technique, repeat about 3 times for every technique, and we will do effleurage between each technique. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Actually, this is like you need to give treatment only over the trapezius muscle because that is the muscle that is spasm. And another one is like you can just use the same technique as the previous question. You don't need to add up cupping. So here we are going to break the spasm. Okay, so you can just choose skin rolling, picking up, bringing, then hacking, okay, friction, all those things. So no need cupping alone. Is that clear?
Okay, Miss.
Okay. Next group, group 5. Next group, group 5. Can you hear me, group 5?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, can start.
Yeah. First, we position the patient in prone lying, and then we apply the lubricant. And then first we apply 3 times the effleurage to the back, to the lower back, and then we apply the circular kneading. Follow up with the skin lowering, and then we do again the effleurage to the lower back.
Yes, ma, continue.
And then we do the
So I'll continue from what Angel said just now. So we can do effleurage since our patient is an old age person and also having a lower back pain caused by one of the lumbar muscles. So as she said, do applying effleurage and then circular kneading, and then some palmar petrissage, and then once again effleurage, and then maybe some hacking, but light hacking, and then continue with effleurage and petrissage, and again ending with some effleurage. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, so just one point to add, like since they have given that low back pain, it doesn't mean that you have to treat only the lower part of the back. You can treat the complete back because effleurage, everything you need to drain on the proximal. Okay, so you cannot treat only the lower back. Here the muscle, you need to choose the technique that will be reducing the spasm of the muscle and that will be relaxing the muscle. So almost all the technique like other things you can use it. But when you are doing it, you have to see to that whether the hacking, beating, all those things, if it is increasing the pain, then you don't need to use those techniques. Is that clear? So mainly since like the person is having pain, you can choose the technique whichever is helping you to relax the muscle. Okay, good. Next group, group 6.
Good morning, Miss. So, based on the question, the patient is having muscle flaccidity. So, massage should be given from distal to proximal.
Okay, good.
Before the massage, position the patient in supine lying first. And then I'll then apply lubricants with touch. After that, I'll start with finger kneading, then follow up by effleurage from distal to proximal, which will drain into the elbow. And after that, I'll be giving circular kneading from the palm to the forearm, then followed again with effleurage. After effleurage, I'll do hacking and beating with effleurage in between the technique. That's it.
Okay, so the main concern here is like you need to do from distal to proximal, and you can do the technique that felicitate the muscle. So felicitating muscle is like you're hacking, beating, all those kind of continuous pounding technique will felicitate the muscle. Okay, so all those technique you have to choose. Okay, next group.
Good morning, Miss. So, according to the case scenario, we know that our patient is having lower limb fatigue. So, the main purpose is to reduce the muscle tone. So, we will be position the patient in front lying, and then all the massage applies from distal to proximal. First, we apply F-RASH method on the lower limb, and then we can also apply the kneading method like picking up, bringing, and skin rolling. We apply friction on the bony area like metatarsal bone, and also apply compression and circular kneading. Yeah, that's it, Miss.
Okay. So here, since like it is spastic, you are going to do from proximal to distal. Except effleurage, remaining every technique have to be given from proximal to distal. So spastic, you need to choose the technique that will be giving you relaxation. Okay. Okay. So next, last group.
Good morning, Miss.
Good morning.
So for our case scenario is that the patient is having swelling on both upper limb. So the patient will be in prone lying, and then if we can hold up the hand, we will hold with one hand and perform technique with another. If not, we will place pillow to support the patient's arm before we begin. So for arms, we will start with touch. The touch will be from fingers to shoulder, and then stroking from distal to proximal, which is for fingers, we will do spiral kneading, and then from wrist to elbow, and then elbow to shoulder. And then we will proceed with effleurage, which is also from distal to proximal, draining to the axillary. And then after effleurage, we will follow the following techniques will be done from distal to proximal also on the muscle part and not bony part. So we will do circular kneading, effleurage, skin rolling, then effleurage again, picking up, effleurage, ringing, effleurage. Yes, that's it.
Okay. Okay, so just one point I want to add. Here, mastectomy means removal of the breast because of breast cancer. Okay, so the technique mastectomy means removal of breast because of breast cancer. So here, another thing is like when they remove the breast, they will be removing some parts of the lymphatic nodes. So because of the damage of the lymphatic nodes only, the patient is having swelling in the upper limb. Is that clear? So here another one is you need to see whether there is any block in the lymphatic nodes. So even though for swelling we need to give from distal to proximal, this particular case, since the blockage will be there in the lymphatic node, you need to clear off the proximal blockage, then you have to start from distal. So that means like you need to do for the arm and you have to clear the lymphatic blockage. Then after that again you have to start from wrist to the arm. Okay, because after the surgery, if the lymphatic node is completely blocked, when you apply pressure from distal to proximal, the overpressure will further damage the lymphatic nodes. Okay, so it may bust in the middle. So to avoid that, you have to remove the block in the proximal, then start from distal to proximal. Is that clear? So this is only for the problems like this, like mastectomy, where you will be having the block in the lymphatic channels. Okay, so any kind of surgeries which is damaging the lymphatic nodes need to be cleared off first. Is that clear?
Okay, Miss.
Okay, students. I think like you are having little more idea about the massage. So you can take up the practical handbook. You will have some more case scenarios. So you can start practicing over the pillow so that you will get used to that. Okay. So I hope like you have seen all the portions for your mid semester and everything. Your mid semester will be in October, right? I think it is in the October first week. So start preparing now onwards. Like if you have any doubts, then we will clear then and there. Okay, so one more question. The first question, I didn't get this question. I think, okay, thank you for the feedback and circular friction. Along with spine, okay as well. Is this question related to back? If it is related to back, then you have to give circular friction over the spine. Okay, then okay. So circular friction have to be given over the spine, and transverse friction can be given over the transverse process. So that will help you to reduce the muscle spasm. Okay, so next question: if pain in neck region, do we need to effleurage in neck region alone? So here, pain in the neck region means you need to see whether it is in the shoulders or whether it is in the upper back. If it is in the upper back, then you need to give to the whole back. Okay, but if the pain is because of the spasm of the trapezius muscle, because of spasm of any particular muscle, then you can give over that particular muscle alone. You don't need to give to the complete region. Okay, but like low back pain, if the pain is over the upper thoracic region, then you have to give to the complete back. Is that clear? Any other doubts? Okay, so position of the patient depends on the problem. Okay, so if the person has lymphedema, and then you can after the mastectomy, like the eighth question, then you can position them in sitting. But sometimes if the patient has stroke, so where their whole upper limb and the lower limb is weak, so those patients will find it difficult to sitting balance, and they will find it difficult for sitting for a long time. So in that case, you can go for supine lying. So if the patient has sitting balance, good sitting balance, then you can go with sitting, no problem. Okay, so you want to go through the use of techniques again, like effleurage. Okay, so we will see this again. Okay. Okay, for lower limb, like if the patient is very bulky, then you have to go with two position. First, you will be doing in supine, then you will be doing with prone. If the person is very thin and you are able to manage the whole lower limb with one hand, then you can just lift and do the technique. So in that case, you can just prefer supine lying. No need to go for prone lying. Okay. So we will have a discussion about the use of technique again. Okay, so don't worry. Any other doubt?
No, Miss.
Okay. Okay. So this use of the techniques, it is there in the slide, but I will prepare the single technique usage and I will discuss again in the next class. Is that clear?
Yes, Miss.
Yes.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So start preparing the answers for the tutorial questions also, so that side by side we can have discussion. This is your 5th week. I'll be able to complete one more technique in this week. Then in another 2 weeks, I will complete the remaining. And last week, we will try to have at least one class for tutorial before your mid-semester. So you will be having your study break between 27 to 1st October, isn't it?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So on 24th, see, you block classes for me on Fridays. So maybe mostly Friday afternoon because morning I may have some meetings. This week so far I don't have meetings, so we will go with the morning class. In case if I have meeting, then I'll shift to afternoon. Is that clear? So tomorrow we will have afternoon. Thursday again we will have afternoon. Friday alone we will try to have in the morning. Then before 24th, you prepare the answers for all the tutorial questions so that we can have a discussion and finalize. Finally, we will have a tutorial before your mid-semester. Okay.
Okay, Miss.
I have one more question here. Okay, stroking is always from proximal to distal. Okay, effleurage is always from distal to proximal. Then, remaining techniques you can continue either from proximal or distal. Anyways, like in case, like for example, if you are doing for single muscle tightness, or if you are doing for muscle spasm, then you can go with any direction, that is either from proximal to distal or distal to proximal. But only thing is you stick on to a particular sequence. That means if you are giving from proximal to distal, all the technique except effleurage will be proximal to distal. Only effleurage will be from distal to proximal. Is that clear? So you have to stick on to one sequence so that you give a good relaxation to that particular muscle. For the problems like in case of upper limb, for the problems like spasticity or flaccidity, then you have to definitely do proximal to distal for spasticity and for distal to proximal for flaccidity. Is that clear? So remaining directions, you can choose your own according to the patient's condition. Hope I have answered all the questions. Okay, students, if no more doubts, then we will close the class. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.